the function of this tweetbot is to help me create tweets, like tweets, um, retweet, and follow people that I don't already follow. Um, I feel it's very important to have this tweetbot because um, life gets really busy, and yet a Twitter following is very important. And for you to maintain or create a good Twitter following, you need to be very active on Twitter. I see people post, very many times a day. People who have a huge following, like our influencers today, they really post a lot. They put a lot of effort into, creating content constantly, which can really be really hectic if you have other things to do. If you have a day job or if you're running a business, it can really get busy. And so I decided to create a tweetbot just to help me maintain a constant flow of content and engagement on Twitter while doing the other things, that I have to do on a daily. So this is what Streetbot is going to do. Um, the first thing is going to tweet, create tweets. That is also called updating, your status. The second thing, the second thing, it is going to like tweets. So it's going to go through the timeline and just put it here. It's going to go through the timeline, and like tweets that I don't like already. The third one, it is going to retreat. Okay, it's going to retreat tweets that I haven't retreated before. All that I haven't created myself, because what is the essence of tweeting your own tweet, right? Then the fourth one, it is going to follow users that I don't follow already, or users that I already haven't requested a follow from. All right, so let's go into the code. So I'm going to be using the Tweepy library. I have to import it. I'm also going to be using pandas. So pandas is to help me read a file of the content. So I'm going to have a file of the content that I'm going to keep on tweeting. Because if you're sending out a tweet every hour or every 2 hours, you need to have a file where you have all these tweets or all this information, where you can keep on picking one tweet, you post it, then pick another one, you post it, like that. So I'm going to, that is where this one comes in, of updating your status. So I'm going to be creating a file of quotes. I'm going to download it and have it in my file. And so this script will be picking a quote from that file and tweeting it. Yeah, so I'm also going to use the time package, to time the API on how many tweets, or how long it should rest. Okay, so the other thing that I need is credentials. You're going to get credentials from the Twitter your Twitter developer's account. If you don't have it, you have to apply for it. Then you're able to get the API key and the secret. You're also able to get the access token, right? And so I don't want to regenerate them because I already have them. What I want to do is just get a file that already has them and add it right here. Let me just create a file. I'll call it grids for credentials. Then I'm going to copy them from a different file that already has them. It is this file right here. So I don't want them to be visible here because if I'm to upload this application online, I definitely don't want to expose my credentials, because if someone has these credentials, it means they can do anything with your account, right? So you don't want to expose them. Um, so let's start. The first step is to create an instance of the authenticator. I'll call it auth. I'll use the Tweepy library. It is right here, online auth1 user handler. You pass the app key. Oh, I forgot to import the credentials file. So yeah, import that. I'll need the app key. I need the app secret. I'm going to need the access token for authentication, and then the access secret. So now I've created an instance of the authenticator. And so now I am able to, I have access to the API. Now I have access to the authenticator, and now I'm going to create an instance of the API. And I'll pass authenticator. So now I have the API instance, and it is authenticated. Yes, so now we are ready to use it. So the first example I'm going to show you is updating our status or tweeting. So to do that, you say API dot. So you see when I say API dot, it brings a list of different methods that are accessible with the API. So the one I want to use is called update status. And so I'll just write something. So what I've written is text, and that is a tweet. So this would be a demo tweet that you will just normally tweet. And so if I run that code, it returns code 0, so meaning everything was successful. If I go back to Twitter and go to my account, you should see this tweet. So this is a tweet, okay, that I've just created. All right, so now the next step is to get a stream of content that you can keep on using, where you can keep on getting content from and posting. To do that, I'm just going to get a file of quotes, and to get that, I just went to Google and put in this, and got this from ResearchGate. They're saying this is a PDF file of quotes suitable for recommender systems, all other analysis. So this was basically published for research. It is 11.96 MBs, which means it has a lot of data. So download it. I think I'd already downloaded it, but it's okay. Yeah, it's already downloaded here. I'm just going to go there and pick it and put it in my directory. Then let me just search for it here in my downloads. It's right here. So I'm just going to copy it, and I think the folder is when. This is a folder I'm working in. So you can say I have the app file and the creds file. So I'll paste it here. And if you go back to the code, to the working directory, you should see it. It is right here. And so this is a very huge file. It has quotes. For example, you can see this is a first quote. Age is an issue of mind over matter. So it has 3 rows. It has a quote, it has the author, and it has the age, right? And the age is a genre. So these ones is like a category. So these ones are talking about age. If I scroll down, you can see these are talking about change. If I scroll down, these are talking about dad, and if I scroll down, these are talking about dreams. So yeah, so there's a variety. Um, so I'll go back here. Now to go through that file, I'll need to import it. So I already imported pandas. So I'll just create a way to access them. This is pandas. Retweet CSV. And the file we are reading is called quotes. all.csv, um, and the separator, because you can see for each value or key and value, it is separated by this sign. I don't know if it's a comma or what they call it. So yeah, so the separator is that. I need to put it in because if I don't, somehow the code will misbehave, right? Okay, so I now have it, and I'll just remove this because this was for testing. Okay, so I have that. Now the next thing I need to do is to create a file that stores the index of a tweeted quote, because we don't want to keep tweeting the same quote over and over again. So we have to make sure that when we tweet a quote, we skip it, right? We don't tweet it again. So we do that by looking at their indexes, right? So this is index 0, index 1, 2, 3, and so on. So for that, I'm going to create a variable called, I think, what's index. Now initialize it as 0, right? And so I'm going to create a file now that will keep the index of a tweeted tweet, right? And I'll call that tweet index .txt. So you have to initialize a value there, so it is 0. Let's say starts with 0, right? And so I'll read it. So with open, index.txt, so we are reading, that's 5. And so what we want to do now is assign the value from the file, but we have to format it into an integer. All right, yes. So now we open this file and we assign the value from the file as the quote index. So that is done. Now the next step is to create a function to tweet, right? So we call this function tweet. We are going to say for index and rows, for index and row, in df, which is the data frame, and we are going to iterate through the rows. Right. Yeah. So of index and row in data frame. So let's see what this looks like. If we say print row, we get print a single row. Let me just call the function here. Let's run it and see. All right, so it's reading all the data. Let's see, for example, if you look at this, we are looking at rows, and what we want is the first index here. So how do we access that? We say row 0. Let me clear this. Okay, I think this is what I want. So it is bringing only a quote, right? Cool. So now what I want to do instead, before this, let's check something. Let's make sure that what we tweet, the quote that we tweet can be retweeted again. So we're going to say if the idx is less than or equal to the quote index, right? We want to first make sure if it is less than then we are going to skip it. Otherwise, we are going to tweet update status. And what are we tweeting? A row. We've already seen a row. But then we want the first value from the row, right? And when we get that, then we need to update this value here with the index of the quote that has already been tweeted, right? So let's say with index file txt, and now we want to write that file, let's say as f. So then f dot write so you're writing the index Maybe converting it into a string, right? All right, so then I want to print this and see. So then after this, we write to that file, and then we skip, for the 5 seconds just to see what we are doing. Actually, let's make it. And let me first update. I want to first test that and see what quotes are coming. First clear this and run this code. Right. Right, so everything seems to be fine. So let me just give it maybe 5 seconds and see what tweets are going to come. And if you look in our tweet file, you see it has moved up to 5 tweets. All right, so now those ones can be retweeted again. So let's run it and see what's happening on the Twitter app. Come here and refresh. Yeah, so you can see it is tweeting. Don't run it for so long to make it crowd my timeline. Yeah, so you can see it has tweeted every 5 seconds. But what you want to do, or what I want to do is make it tweet for maybe an hour. So the first thing is 60, so this is 1 minute. Time that sleep works in seconds, so this is 60 seconds, which is 1 minute. So if we wanted to run every 30 minutes, we'll do times 30. I think the best thing would be to make it run at least after every hour. That way you don't get unnecessarily, you don't tweet unnecessarily in every single second, filling your users' timelines. So if we run it, it will tweet every hour. It will select a single quote from all these quotes. One after 1 hour, it will tweet this. And so what you have here is these are very, very many quotes, right? This could take, I guess, let me see. Actually, here they are showing how many they are. You see this? Almost 75,000. So those are 75, thousand and 669 quotes. If you're tweeting every hour, let's see how long that would last. So that's 7,566 and 5,669. So if you divide that by maybe 24 hours for a day, so it means for 3,000 days, you're going to be, creating. You're going to be uh, creating tweets, right? I don't know if that makes sense because an hour for every tweet divided by 24. So yeah, so for 3,000 days, you're going to be having content to tweet. But then let's divide that by years. So 365. Okay. If my math is not wrong, this shows that you will be having content for 8 years, and you never have to go there and write something, but definitely you have to go in there sometimes and comment and um, retreat, you know. So that is the first video. I'm going to create a second video that shows how to like and how to retweet and then also how to follow. And then eventually I will show you how to host this code online so that it keeps on running on an online server. Because if you have to keep it running, it means you have to have instant internet and your computer should stay on, so it should act as a server. But you can just host this code online and it will just keep running automatically. All right, so that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.